the suppression of sex and spirituality leads to misery. And what do I mean by that? Individually, within us, when we suppress sex, our sexual nature, when we suppress our spiritual nature, we feel depressed. Life is dull. Speaking from my experience, life is dull when I don't have sex in my life. Life is dull when I don't have my connection to God turned on. That leads to all kind of maladaptive behaviors. Looking at porn, OnlyFans, looking for spirit or something, some sort of essence, sexual essence from another human being in a desperate way to like collect or to get. We also are in loneliness. There's a loneliness epidemic in the world, especially, speaking to men here. Men have this desire to connect, to be with a partner. And, I know when I was using porn daily, I was actually pretending in life like sex wasn't important to me. And yet I wasn't really being authentic, right? So internally I knew I was using porn and sex was super important to me. And then I would, be in my daily life, at work, with friends, family events, just living my life and really not, not talking about sex, not being real with myself and others, how important sex is to me. And same with spirituality. Like I've always been a spiritual guy. And that was a little bit easier to be on the outside as well, because there's a certain level of, like appreciation for men who are spiritual. And so, and I really like being spiritual, and yet at the same time, I hid it as well to a degree. You know, uh, only in certain situations would I talk about my spiritual beliefs. And yeah, so again, inauthentic, just trying to be, a guy that fits in to like the norm. And so essentially what I've come to find is that suppressing the spirituality and the sex, that these natures in ourselves, or keeping them separate from each other, not blending, not integrating the two areas of life. It's just kind of like a facade. We live our life not being powerful. Again, if I'm hiding my connection to God, my beliefs, if I'm hiding my my sexual desires, then I'm not in power. I'm not authentic. And so it's taken me some time to work through that and to speak about it. And part of it is like, what are other people going to think if I talk about it, if I own my spirituality, if I own my sex, my desire for sex? Like somehow that they're going to judge me, or there's going to be some people who agree, some people who disagree, some people will say don't talk about it. And it's like I'm just at a point where it's like I got to talk about it. I got to talk about it, And I work with people. I'm a therapist and a coach, and I realize, I mean, these are areas of life that some people really want to talk about and share their struggles around. And so, if I can't be there to listen to them and to talk to them about it, uh, then who will? You know, because I realize too that some of us grow up in circles, in families, in communities where it's not popular to talk about it. Like these things at the dinner table, or even in like churches or prayer groups or whatever. I'm not knocking any of that, but I found it very difficult to speak up about it. um, I remember being in a confirmation class uh, in high school, and there was I was opening the Bible, I was looking at it, and there was some passage around masturbation and saying how like evil that is. And I was like, damn, like this is shit, because this is something that I've been doing, right? And so um, and I didn't know who to really talk to about it. I might have like shown somebody else in class. I don't really recall for sure. And I do know that I did talk to the priest about sex. I did have a meeting with him, and I don't know if it was around that same time or maybe a little bit later. But it's, again, I I didn't feel at the time it was like I didn't feel self-expressed around sex. I didn't feel um, like I could trust others for me to talk about it, and a lot of that was my own thing potentially. But I guess what I'm saying is my experience growing up and even to my 20s, into my 30s, it's like I'm in my mid 40s now, and uh, I just recognize this as like a process, and everybody's in a different place with it. And if you're in a place with it that you're struggling to you're grappling with your sexual nature and your spiritual nature, or just one or the other, and you don't know where to go with it, I get it. I, I get it 100%, and uh, I I empathize. Part of my growth or evolution with all this has been being going through life and having you know mistakes made, and uh, self judgment, and trying different ways to express myself, and dealing with my own, again, self judgment, um, and also doing things that looking back, I wish I wouldn't have done. And part of this path is forgiving yourself for those things. I particularly remember using porn and being like, God, there's got to be like some like sacred way to deal with my sexual urges. There's got to be something, um, and because this sucks, because I knew like there's guilt on the other side. At least for me, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, there's a lot of guilt for using that, and a lot of internal conflict. And again, keeping it to myself, hiding. And I came across something online about utilizing qigong practices and Taoist sexual practices to develop strategies for taking the power back from, that was giving to porn, giving to my sexual urges, and channeling sexual urges into self solo cultivation, um, making love to yourself. Also, um, practices that help you channel the sexual energy, the aroused sexual energy, so it's flowing throughout your entire body, and it's not like something where it's like, oh, I gotta release, every day or something, right? And that's powerful because we can channel our energy into something creative, something that we're working on. Um, there's a lot of fatigue that I was experiencing. I'm like, why am I so tired? Sometimes it's like the food you eat and a lack of movement or exercise, feeling depressed, things like that. But also it is, releasing, ejaculating frequently, causes a depletion in energy, right? So there's those things to contend with. And anyways, there's a whole host of things that we have going against us in a way, distractions and so forth. And I started applying these principles that I was learning, and which something that's actually crazy and is it's a blessing. I do recognize it and appreciate it so much. Uh, the program that I found is the legend Jonathan White. He has a great program, and um, I'm actually in his studio right now. So we became friends, and uh, I really appreciate all the work that he's done to bring this work to men. And I also started working with Michael Wynn, who has a he has a training for Taoist Secrets of Love, and it's just really inspired me to be a man who is cultivating himself sexually, working on the impulses sexually, and creating sex to be sacred, with myself and with a partner. So, hey, there's help out there. There's ways to love yourself, to love others, to express your sexual desire in a healthy way, to have amazing love-making sessions with your partner, with yourself. Um, I've been really amazed by it. Sustaining sexual pleasure, sexual sessions for a long period of time, longer than I ever had before, and just owning my body. Um, you know, Sexual anxiety, performance anxiety, really was strong in me before putting these practices into place. And I'm now more confident than ever with my sex, and I've become real confident. If you're a man, you want to hear more of this kind of thing, please comment here in the comments section. And if you don't feel comfortable commenting here, you can email me. There's a email form on my website, sacred-psychotherapy.com. And I look forward to hearing from you. If you want me to speak on a particular topic around sex, around spirituality, around joining and integrating the two, I'm happy to share as well. So much love to you guys, and God bless.